Good afternoon. I'm Ronnie Thomas, graduate student at Georgia Southern University. Today I'm interviewing Michael Ray, technology specialist for Camden County Elementary and Middle Schools. So good afternoon, Michael. My first question to you, I see your title is technology specialist, but what type of degree is required for your position?
So for my position, we needed a certification in technology support. So the one I have, as far as certifications goes, is the CompTIA A+ certification, and that covers kind of your broad hardware and software technologies. And then CompTIA is a vendor neutral certification source. So they cover some Linux, some Apple products, and Windows products as well, which is probably what I'm most familiar with.
Okay.
And in addition, I continued to get an associate's degree as a network specialist
Okay.
and help desk support specialist.
All right. Thank you. So what are your job responsibilities?
My responsibilities in our situation here, each of our techs is responsible for a certain number of facilities. So in my case, I have 2 elementary schools and 1 middle school. And I travel to those schools or via remote support, take care of the technology needs for that facility. And that would include anything from printers to staff devices and laptops, our view board, our interactive touch panel boards in the classrooms, and probably the bulk of it would be the student Chromebook devices, and just making sure they're up to date, connected, and able to give the students and staff what they need.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of work. All right, next question. So how are the schools meeting the needs of faculty and staff during the transition to remote learning?
So 2 of the most important things I could think of would be we acquired a new remote support software. So if a teacher is out, such as in the case when we transitioned to remote work a lot, we could log into their computer and manipulate their desktop and as if we were just there sitting in front of their laptop. And the other big thing would be, again, with the Chromebooks. Teachers are able to post assignments to, in our case, Google Classroom,
Right.
and then students can work on them while not being physically at the school. And that combined with a more cloud-oriented approach to a lot of the software, such as Microsoft Office, Google Workspace. This allows you to work on tasks and for students' assignments as long as you have an internet connection, not necessarily have to be at a specific school.
Right, thanks. So the next question, how are the schools meeting the remote learning needs for the students and the parents?
Yes, again, with the Chromebooks and the different platforms that teachers have to communicate with the students, primarily Google Classroom. That's where they can post surveys, assignments, and then the teachers themselves will communicate with the parents through a lot of these platforms as well, allowing them to be involved in just direct communication with the teacher.
Okay.
And giving them an opportunity to sit with their students as well if they desire.
Got it. So what are the typical daily activities for your job?
So I would say the majority of it is Chromebook repair. Any type of printer connections are a big one as well. Sound issues, and just meeting the needs of the different facilities I have. And it's going to differ from school to school as well.
Right.
So, for example, Sunrise schools, they'll do a lot more remote, to do a lot of like their morning announcements, for example. It's a good one. One school I have uses a Google Meet to do their morning announcements.
Right.
So we, make sure that everybody has access to Google Meet. Their sound, the video in their classroom is working so these students can hear it. It really depends on the day and the activities that the teachers are performing that day. Testing is coming up, so that's going to be a big one that we want to make sure that all these devices are ready. That way, when the students go to take their test, they're ready to go. They're all up to date, and we know they're going to function. All the keys are going to function. And then just general what you might see in a normal office setting as well outside of a school, just running reports, printing, just daily use of a laptop and making sure it functions. That way the staff can do their jobs. It's such a wide variety of tasks. And that's one of the reasons I like it is you don't always know what you're going to get that day until that tech request comes in.
Right.
And you usually see something new every day. I like to try to visit the schools as much as I can. I feel, for me, I feel a lot more comfortable doing it in person a lot.
Right.
Because you get a little more hands-on with the devices themselves, and you get to experiment a little with the different technology that we have deployed out in the schools.
Right. So budget-wise, do you have a budget that you control, or if you do have a budget, how do you make decisions on selecting the resources that your stakeholders need?
Me personally, I don't have anything to do with the budget. That would be my boss, who's a director of technology.
Right.
And then I'm sure he works with the Board of Education to make those decisions, to assess what the district needs, especially as far as technology needs goes, upgrades, and then he's able to make recommendations, get those budgets approved, and then depending on the item we're looking for, get it delivered to us so that we can send it out to the schools or implement new endpoint protection or new networking capabilities. Cloud software would be a big one that we've worked on.
Right.
And then obviously the devices themselves, the Chromebooks and laptops especially, to get them out into the hands of the staff and students.
Right. So we know we have a lot of new technology, but have you had an opportunity to impact technology implementation throughout your school?
I believe so. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Now, this, if you have this, can you give me an example?
Sure. Say one of the big ones would be one of the labs at our middle school. We were able to update them to Chrome boxes, which is more of a heavy duty Chromebook, if you want to think about it that way,
right,
and replace the aging mini computers that were in there before. The Chrome boxes are able to update a lot faster. There's not as much going on internally with them, which makes it a lot lower maintenance for those products. And then the teacher, in addition to using their Google accounts to access them, the teacher is able to more effectively teach their class without having to worry, is this thing going to power on? What kind of issue am I going to have today? It's a Chromebox, they're very reliable. Like I said, much less to maintain. And so we swapped out one of the labs and replaced all the devices with Chrome boxes over one summer. In addition to the daily activities of just replacing Chromebooks and getting laptops out into the different facilities. And just in general, providing the support they need when they need it to make sure that they can teach their classes and the students can receive their lessons.
That's pretty good. So we're dealing with technology. So I know you're at multiple schools. Do any of the schools have a technology committee?
We do not. From what I understand, we used to, but we don't have a specific technology committee. Most of the decisions would be made at our technology office. Now we would receive feedback from the different facilities to make those decisions. But each of the schools do not have their own technology committee. We rely on the media specialist a lot for their feedback to us. letting us know what's needed out in the schools.
So that was my next question. How are these decisions made if you don't have a technology committee? And you pretty much answered that.
Yep, the media specialists, the principals and administration, um, they'll receive feedback from their staff, and it works its way up the chain and gets to our office. And then, the technology director would weigh those different types of feedback we're getting and make decisions on what products we need to purchase or what systems we need to deploy.
So, what is the best part of your job?
I think the best part of my job would be the problem solving.
Yes.
As I mentioned earlier, you've got your problems that you're going to expect, your tech issues that are going to pop up, but you always get that little curveball, and spending the research to do it and implementing that solution and it working, I find to be very satisfying. It's nice when it works, and then once you figure that out, when that issue creeps up again later on or in another facility, you just know, oh, I know this one, I've seen it
Right.
before, let me jump right on it. So it's a constant learning, especially with how fast technology evolves.
Yes.
Updates every day. It tends to move so fast and create new capabilities that just being able to continually learn in a job is something I really enjoy.
I think you're leading to my next question. What's the most challenging part of the job? Probably the same as the best.
Same as the best. You never know what you're gonna get. The most challenging, I would say, really is those ones that you just have to delve into a ton of research to figure it out. Web searches usually. What's nice is a lot of times the problem you're having is usually not an isolated issue. Someone else in the world has had that issue before. And if you spend the time to research that, you're most likely going to find, oh, this guy's explaining exactly what I just encountered.
Right.
So that would be the most challenging part, is the research. But along the way, you're learning so much. So it's the best and the most challenging. You're right. That's a good way to put it.
Yes. Well, Michael, that's all my questions. I thank you for your interview, and I've been working with you for a little bit, and I know it's a challenging job, but you seem like you're up to the challenge.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Mike.
All right, thank you.